3,000 ducats.
Well. Aye, sir, for 3 months.
3 months.
Well, for the which, as I told you, Antonio shall be bound.
Antonio is to become bound.
Well. May you state me? Will you pleasure me? Shall I know your answer?
3,000 ducats for 3 months and Antonio bound.
Your answer to that.
Antonio's a good man.
Have you had an imputation to the contrary?
No. My meaning in saying he's a good man is to have you understand me that he is sufficient, yet his means are in supposition. He hath an argosy bound for Tripolis, another for the Indy. I understand, moreover, upon the Rialto he hath the third at Mexico, a fourth for England, and other ventures he hath squandered abroad. But ships are but boards, sailors but men. There be land rats and water rats, land thieves and water thieves, I mean pirates. And then there is peril of waters, winds and rocks. The man is, notwithstanding, sufficient. 3,000 ducats. I think I may take his bond.
Be assured you may.
Oh, I will be assured I may. And that I may be assured, I will bethink me. May I speak with Antonio?
If it please you to dine with us.
To smell pork. Oh. To eat of the habitation which your prophet, the Nazarite, conjured the devil into. I will buy with you, sell with you, walk with you, talk with you, and so following. But I will not eat with you, drink with you, nor pray with you. What news on the Rialto? But who is he comes here? What news on the Rialto? But who is he comes here?
This is Signor Antonio. Shylock.
I'm debating of my present store, and by the near guess of my memory, I cannot instantly raise up the gross of full 3,000 ducats. What of that? Tubal, a wealthy Hebrew of my tribe, will furnish me. But soft, how many months do you desire? Rest you fair, good Signor. Your worship was the last man in our mouths.
Shylock, albeit I neither lend nor borrow by taking nor by giving of excess, yet to supply the right wants of my friend, I'll break a custom. Is he yet possessed how much he would?
Aye, 3,000 ducats.
And for 3 months.
For 3 months I had forgot. You told me so. Well, then your bond, and let me see. But soft you, methought you said you neither lend nor borrow upon advantage.
I do never use it.
When Jacob grazed his uncle Laban's sheep, this Jacob from holy Abraham was, as his wise mother wrought in his behalf, the third possessor. He was the third.
And what of him? Did he take interest?
No, not take interest. Not, as you would say, directly interest. Mark what Jacob did. When Laban and himself were compromised that all the eanlings which were streaked and pied should fall as Jacob's hire, the ewes being rank in the end of autumn turned to the rams. And when the work of generation was between these woolly breeders in the act, a skillful shepherd peeled me certain wands, and in the doing of the deed of kind, he stuck them up before the fulsome ewes, who then conceiving did in e'en time fall party-colored lambs, and those were Jacob's. This was a way to thrive, and he was blessed, for thrift is blessing, if men steal it not.
This was a venture, sir, that Jacob served for. A thing not in his power to bring to pass, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. Was this inserted to make interest good? Or is your gold and silver ewes and ram?
I cannot tell. I make it breed as fast. But note me, see.
Mark this, Bassanio. The devil can cite scripture for his purpose. An evil soul producing holy witness is like a villain with a smiling cheek. A goodly apple rotten at the heart. What a goodly outside falsehood hath.
3,000 ducats. 'Tis a good round sum. 3 months from 12. Then let me see. The rate.
Well, Shylock, shall we be beholding to you?
Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto you have rated me about my monies and my usances. Still have I borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and spit upon my Jewish gabardine, and all for use of that which is mine own. Well then, it now appears you need my help. Go to them. You come to me, and you say, Shylock, we would have monies. You say so. You, that did void your room upon my beard, and foot me, as you spurn a stranger cur over your threshold. Monies is your suit. What should I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog money? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or should I bend low and in a bondman's key with bated breath and whisper in humbleness, say this, fair sir, you spit upon me whence last you spurn me such a time. Another day you call me dog, and for these courtesies I'll lend you thus much money.
I am like to call thee so again, to spit on thee again, to spurn thee too. If thou wilt lend this money, lend it not as to thy friends. For when did friendship take a breed for barren metal of a friend? No, lend it rather to thine enemy. For if he break, thou mayst with better face exact the penalty.
Well, look you, how you storm. I would be friends with you and have your love. Forget the shames that you have stained me with. Supply your present wants, and take no doit of usance for my monies, and you'll not hear me. This is kind I offer.
This were kindness?
This kindness, well, I shall go with me to a notary. Seal me there your single bond, and in a merry sport, if you repay me not on such a day, in such a place, such sum or sums as are expressed in the condition, let the forfeit be nominated for an equal pound of your fair flesh, to be cut off and taken in what part of your body pleaseth me.
Content! In faith, I'll seal to such a bond, and to say there is much kindness in the Jew.
You shall not seal to such a bond for me. I'd rather dwell in my necessity.
Fear not, man, I will not forfeit it. Within these 2 months, that's a month before this bond expires, I do expect return of thrice 3 times the value of the bond.
Oh, Father Abraham, what these Christians are, whose own hard dealings teaches them suspect the thoughts of others. Pray you, tell me this, if he should break his day, what should I gain by the exaction of the forfeiture? A pound of man's flesh taken from a man is not so estimable, profitable neither as flesh of muttons, beefs, or goats. I say, to buy his favor, I extend this friendship, if he will take it so. If not, adieu, and for my love, I pray you wrongly not.
Yes, Sherlock, I will seal under this bond.
Then go we forthwith to the notary, give him direction for this merry bond, and I will go and purse the ducats straight. See to my house left in the fearful guard of an unthrifty knave, and presently I'll be with you.
By thee, gentle Jew. The Hebrew will turn Christian. He grows kind.
She hath directed how I shall take her from her father's house, what gold and jewels she is furnished with, what page's suit she hath in readiness. If e'er the Jew her father come to heaven, it'll be for his gentle daughter's sake. Come, go with me, peruse this as thou goest. Fair Jessica shall be my torch-bearer.
Well, thou shalt see. Thy eyes shall be thy judge. The difference of old Shylock and base Anio. What, Jessica? Thou shalt not gormandize as thou hast done with me. What, Jessica? And sleep and snore and rend apparel out. Why, Jessica, I say!
Why, Jessica!
Who did bid thee call? I did not bid thee call.
Well, your worship was wont to tell me I could do nothing without bidding.
Call you?
I
What is your will?
bid forth to supper, Jessica. Here are my keys. Yet wherefore should I go? Not bid for love. They flatter me. But yet I'll go in hate and feed upon the prodigal Christian. Jessica, my girl, look to my house. I'm right loath to go. There is some ill a-brewing towards my rest, for I did dream of money bags tonight.
I beseech you, Sir Guy, my young master doth expect your reproach.
So do I his.
And they have conspired together. I will not say you shall see a mask. But if you do, then it was not for nothing.
What?
My nose fell a-breeding on Black Monday last at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's fallen out that year last Wednesday. It was 4 years in the afternoon.
What? Are the masks? Here you be, Jessica. Lock up my doors. And when you hear the drum and the bile squealing at the wry-necked fife, clamber you not out to the casements then, nor thrust your head into the public streets to gaze on Christian fools with varnished faces, but stop my house's ears. I mean my casements. Let not the sound of shallow foppery enter my sober house. By Jacob's staff, I swear, I have no mind of feasting forth tonight. Yet I will go. Go you before, sirrah, say I will.
I will go before, sir. Mistress, look out that window for all this. There will come a Christian by who will be worth a Jewess eye.
What said that fool of Hagar's offspring, huh?
His words were farewell, mistress. Nothing else.
The patch is kind enough, but a huge feeder. Snail slow in profit, and he sleeps by day more than the wildcat. Drones hive not with me, and therefore I part with him. And part with him to one that I would have him help to waste his borrowed purse. Jessica, go in. Perhaps I will return immediately. Do as I bid you. Shut doors after you. Fast bind, fast bind. The proverb never stale in thrifty mind.
Farewell. And if my fortune be not crossed, I have a father, you a daughter, lost.
Of a Jew. How now, Shylock? What news among the merchants?
You knew none so well. None so well as you of my daughter's plight.
That's certain. I, for my part, knew the tailor that made the wings she flew withal.
And Shylock, for his own part, knew the bird was fledged. And then it is the complexion of them all to leave the dam.
She is damned for it.
That's certain, if the devil may be her judge.
My own flesh and blood to revolt.
Out upon it, old carrion. Revolts it at these years.
I say, my daughter is my flesh and blood.
There is more difference between thy flesh and hers than between jet and ivory. More between your bloods than there is between red wine and Rhenish. But tell us, do you hear whether Antonio have had any loss of...
Another bad match, a bankrupt, a prodigal that dares cast show his head in the Rialto. A beggar that was used to come so smug upon the mart. Let him look to his bond. He was wont to call me usurer. Let him look to his bond. He was used to lend out monies for Christian courtesy. Let him look to his bond.
I'm sure if he forfeit, thou wilt not take his flesh. What's that good for?
To bait fish withal. He hath disgraced me and hindered me 500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends. He heated mine enemies. And what is his reason? I'm a Jew. That's not a Jew. Eyes. It's not a Jew. Hands. organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions. If you prick us, do we not bleed? Tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you in the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Why? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be? By Christian example. Why? The villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it shall go hard. But I will better the instruction.
Gentlemen, my master Antonio is at his house and desires to speak with you both.
We have been up and down to seek him.
Oh, here comes another of the tribe. A third cannot be matched unless the devil himself turn Jew.
How now, Tubal? What news from Genoa? Hast thou found my daughter?
I often came where I did hear of her, but cannot find her.
Clive, there. A diamond gone. Cost me 2,000 ducats in Frankfurt. The curse never fell upon our nation till now. I never felt it till now. 2,000 and that another precious jewels. I want my daughter were dead at my foot, and the jewels in her ear. I would she were hers at my foot, and the ducats in her cup, and no news of them. I know not what's lost to the search. Why, there loss upon loss. The thief gone with so much to find the thief, and no satisfaction, no revenge, no ill luck stirring. But what lights on my shoulders? No sighs but of my breathing, no tears but my shedding.
Yes, other men have ill luck too. Antonio, as I heard in Genoa,
Ill luck.
hath an argosy cast away coming from Tripolis.
He's gone! Is it true?
I spoke with some of the sailors that escaped the wreck.
Thank you, good Tubal. Good news, good news. But what about else didst thou hear in Genoa?
Your daughter spent in Genoa, as I heard, one night 80 ducats.
Thou stickst a dagger in me. Shall never see my gold again. 80 ducats at a sitting, 80.
There came divers of Antonio's creditors in my company to Venice that swear he cannot choose but break.
Very glad of it. Plague him, torture him. I'm glad of it.
One of them showed me a ring that he had of your daughter. For a monkey?
It was my turquoise. I had it of Leah when I was a bachelor. I would not have given it for a wildered
wilderness of monkeys. But Antonio is certainly undone.
That's true. That's very true.
Go to fee me an officer. Bespeak him a fortnight before. I will have the heart of him if he forfeit. Go to meet me at our synagogue. Go, Kutuba, at our synagogue. Kutuba.
Door. He comes, my lord. Make room, and let him stand before our face. Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so too, that thou but leadst this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of act. And then 'tis thought thou'lt show thy mercy, and remorse more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty. And where thou now exacts the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh, thou wilt not only loose the forfeiture, but touched with human gentleness and love, forgive a moiety of the principal. Glancing an eye of pity on his losses, which have of late so huddled on his back, and now to press a royal merchant down, and pluck commiseration of his state from brassy bosoms and rough hearts of flint, from stubborn Turks and Tartars, never trained to offices of tender courtesy. We all expect a gentle answer. Jew?
I have possessed your grace of what I purpose, and by our holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond. If you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. You'll ask me why I rather choose to have a weight of carrion flesh than to receive 3,000 ducats. I'll not answer that, but say it is my humor. Is it answered? What if my house be troubled with a rat, and I be pleased to give 10,000 ducats to have it baned? What? Are you answered yet? Some men there are love not a gaping pig. Some that are mad if they behold a cat. Others, when the bagpipe sings in the nose, cannot contain their urine. For affection, master of passion, sways it to the mood of what it likes or loathes. And now for your answer. As there is no firm reason to be rendered, why he cannot abide a gaping pig, why he, a harmless, necessary cat, why he, a woolen bagpipe, but of force must yield to that inevitable shame as to offend himself being offended. So can I give no reason, nor I will not, more than a lodged hate and a certain loathing I bear Antonio, that I follow thus a loathing suit against him. Are you answered?
This is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty.
I'm not bound to please thee with my answers.
Do all men kill the things they do not love?
Hates every man the thing he would not kill.
Every offence is not a hated
offence. What wouldst thou have a serpent sting thee twice?
I pray you think. You question with the Jew? You may as well go stand up on the beach and bid the main flood bait his usual height. You may as well use question with the wolf, why yet made the ewe bleat for the lamb. You may as well forbid the mountain pines to wag their high tops and to make no noise when they are threatened with the gusts of heaven. You may as well do anything most hard as seek to soften that than which what's harder is Jewish heart. Therefore I do beseech you, make no more offers, use no farther means, but with all plain and brief conveniency let me have judgment. And the Jew his will.
For thy 3,000 ducats, here is 6.
If every ducat in 6,000 ducats were in 6 parts, and every part a ducat, I would not draw them, I would have my bond.
How shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none?
What judgment shall I dread, doing no wrong? You have among you many a purchased slave, which, like your asses and your dogs and mules, you use in abject and in slavish parts because you bought them. Shall I say to you, let them be free? Marry them to your heirs? Why sweat they under burdens? Let their beds be made as soft as yours, and let their palates be seasoned with such viands. You will answer, oh, the slaves are ours. So do I answer you. The pound of flesh which I demand of him is dearly bought. It's mine, and I will have it. If you deny it, fie upon your law. There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand here for judgment. Answer, shall I have it? If you deny it, fie upon your law. There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand here for judgment. Answer, shall I have it?
Upon my part, I may dismiss this court, unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today.
My lord, there stays without a messenger with letters from the doctor, and you come from Padua.
Bring us the letters. Call in the messenger.
Good cheer, Antonio. What man courage yet? The Jew shall have my flesh, blood, bones and all, and thou shalt lose for me one jot of blood.
No. I am a tainted wether of the flock. Meat is for death. The weakest kind of fruit drops earliest to the ground, and so let me. You cannot better be employed, Bassanio, than to live still and write mine epitaph.
Came you from Padua, from Bellario?
From both, my lord. Bellario greets your grace.
Why dost thou whet thy knife so earnestly?
To cut the forfeiture from that bankrupt, sir.
Makes thy knife keen, but no metal can. No, not the hangman's axe bear half the keenness of thy sharp envy. Can no prayers pierce thee?
No, none that thou hast wit enough to make.
Oh, be thou damned, inexorable dog! And for thy life let justice be accused. Thou almost makes me waver in my faith to hold opinion with Pythagoras that souls of animals infuse themselves into the trunks of men. Thy currish spirit governed a wolf, who hanged for human slaughter, even from the gallows did his fell soul fleet, and whilst thou layest in thy unhallowed dam, infused itself in thee. For thy desires are wolfish, bloody, starved and ravenous.
Till thou canst rail the seal from off my bond, thou but offend'st thy lungs to speak so loud. Repair thy wit, good youth, or it will fall to cureless ruin. I stand here for law.
This letter from Bellario doth commend a young and learned doctor to our court. Where is he?
He attendeth here hard by to know your answer, whether you'll admit him.
Oh, with all my heart. Some 3 or 4 of you, go give him courteous conduct in this place. Meantime, the court shall hear Bellario's letter. Your Grace, shall understand that at the receipt of your letter I am very sick. But in the instant that your messenger came, in loving visitation was with me a young doctor of Rome. His name is Balthazar. I acquainted him with the cause and controversy between the Jew and Antonio the merchant. We turned our many books together. He is furnished with my opinion, which, bettered with his own learning, the greatness whereof I cannot enough commend, and it comes with him at my importunity to fill up your grace's request in my stead. I beseech you, let his lack of years be no impediment to let him lack a reverent estimation, for I never knew so young a body. With so old a head. I leave him to your gracious acceptance, whose trial shall better publish his commendation. Here, the learned Bellario, what he writes. And here, I take it, is the doctor come. Give me your hand. Came you from old Bellario?
I did, my lord.
You are welcome. Yes. Take your place. Are you acquainted with the difference that holds this present question in the court?
I am informed truly of the cause. Which is the merchant here and which the Jew?
Antonio and old Shylock both stand forth.
Is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
Of a strange nature is the suit you follow. Yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. You stand within his danger, do you not?
Aye, so he says.
Do you confess the bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful?
On what compulsion must I? Tell me that.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest gods, when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice, none of us should see salvation. Oh. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which, if thou follow this strict court of Venice, must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
My deeds upon my head, I crave the law, the penalty and forfeit of my bond.
Is he not able to discharge the money?
Yes, here I tender it for him in the court, yea, thrice that sum. If that will not suffice, I'll be bound to pay 10 times more on forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. And if this will not suffice, it must appear that malice bears down truth. And I beseech you, wrest once the law into your authority to do a great right, do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will.
It must not be. There is no power in Venice can alter a decree established. 'Twill be recorded as a precedent, and many an error by the same example will rush into the state. It cannot be.
A Daniel come to judgment. Yea, a Daniel, O wise young judge, how I do honor thee.
I pray you let me look upon the bond.
It is most reverend.
Shylock, there's thrice thy money offered thee.
An oath. An oath. I have an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury upon my soul? No, not from Venice.
By this bond is forfeit. And lawfully by this, the Jew may claim a pound of flesh to be by him cut off, nearest the merchant's heart.
Oh, noble judge, oh, excellent young man.
Be merciful. Take thrice thy money. Bid me tear the bond.
When it is paid according to the tenor, it doth appear you are a worthy judge. You know the law. Your exposition hath been most sound. I charge you, by the law, whereof you are a well-deserving pillar, proceed to judgment. By my soul I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me. I stay here on my bond.
Most heartily I do beseech the court to give the judgment.
Well, then, thus it is. For the intent and purpose of the law have full relation to the penalty which here appeareth due upon the bond.
It's very true, O wise and upright judge. How much more elder art thou than thy looks?
You must prepare your bosom for his knife.
His breast, so says the bond, doth it not, a noble judge? Nearest his heart, those are the very words.
It is so. Are there balance here to weigh the flesh?
I have them ready.
Have by some surgeon, Shylock, on your charge to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death.
It's so nominated in the bond.
It is not so expressed, but what of that? 'Twere good you do so much for charity.
Cannot find it. Oh, 'tis not in the bond!
You, merchant, have you anything to say?
But little. I am armed and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. There you are. Oh, now grieve not that I am fallen to this for you. For herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom. It is still her use to let the wretched man outlive his wealth, to view with hollow eye and wrinkled brow an age of poverty, from which lingering penance of such misery doth she cut me off. No, repent but you that you shall lose your friend. And wrinkled brow an age of poverty, from which lingering penance of such misery doth she cut me off. No, repent but you that you shall lose your friend. And he repents not that he pays your debt. For if the Jew do cut but deep enough, I'll pay it instantly. With all my heart. Commend me to your honorable wife. Tell her the process of Antonia's end. Say how I loved you. Speak me fair in death. When the tale is told, bid her be judged whether Bassanio had not once a love.
Antonio, I am married to a wife which is as dear to me as life itself. But life itself, my wife, and all the world are not with me esteemed above thy life. I would lose all, I sacrifice them all here to this devil to deliver you.
Your wife would give you little thanks for that if she were by to hear you make the offer.
I have a wife whom I protest I love. I would she were in heaven that she might entreat some power to change this currish Jew.
'Tis well you offer it behind her back. The wish would make else an unquiet house.
These be the Christian husbands. I have a daughter. Would any of the stock of Barabbas have been a husband rather than a Christian? We trifle time. I pray thee, pursue sentence.
A pound of this same merchant's flesh is thine. The court awards it, and the law doth give it.
Most noble judge.
And you must cut this flesh from off his breast. The law allows it, and the court awards it.
Most learned judge, a sentence? Come, prepare.
Tarry a little. There is something else. This bond doth give thee here no jot of blood. The words expressly are a pound of flesh. Take then thy bond. Take thou thy pound of flesh. But in the cutting it, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, thy lands and goods are by the laws of Venice confiscate unto the state of Venice.
Oh, upright judge. Marked you a learned judge.
Is that the law?
Thyself shalt see the act. For as thou urgest justice, be assured thou shalt have justice more than thou desirest.
A learned judge, mark, Jew, a learned judge.
I take this offer, then pay the bond thrice and let the Christian go.
Here's the money.
Soft, the Jew shall have all justice. Soft, no haste. He shall have nothing but the penalty.
Oh, Jew, an upright judge, a learned judge.
Therefore, prepare thee to cut off the flesh. Shed thou no blood, nor cut thou less nor more, but just a pound of flesh. If thou takest more or less than a just pound, be it but so much as makes it light or heavy in the substance, or the division of the 20th part of one poor scruple, nay, if the scale do turn but in the estimation of a hair, thou diest, and all thy goods are confiscated.
A second Daniel, a Daniel Jew. Now, infidel, I have you on the hip.
Why doth the Jew pause? Take thy forfeiture.
Give me my principal and let me go.
I have it ready for thee. Here it is.
He hath refused it in the open court. He shall have merely justice and his bond.
A Daniel, still say I. A second Daniel. I thank thee, Jew, for teaching me that word.
Shall I not have Danny, my principal?
Thou shalt have nothing but the forfeiture, to be so taken at thy peril, Jew.
And the devil give him good if it does. It no longer question.
Harry, Jew. The law hath yet another hold on you. It is enacted in the laws of Venice, if it be proved against an alien, that by direct or indirect attempt he seek the life of any citizen, the party against the which he doth contrive shall seize one half his goods. The other half comes to the privy coffer of the state, and the offender's life lies in the mercy of the Duke only, against all other voice. In which predicament I say thou standst, for it appears by manifest proceeding that indirectly and directly too thou hast contrived against the very life of the defendant, and thou hast incurred the danger formerly by me rehearsed. Down therefore, and beg mercy of the Duke.
Beg, that thou mayst have leave to hang thyself. And yet thy wealth being forfeit to the state, thou hast not left the value of a cord. Therefore thou must be hanged at the state's charge.
Yet thou shalt see the difference of our spirit. I pardon thee thy life before thou ask it. For half thy wealth, it is Antonio's. The other half comes to the general state, which humbleness may drive into a fine.
I, for the state, not for Antonio.
Nay, take my life and all. Pardon not that. You take my house, if you do take the prop that doth sustain my house. You take my life, if you do take the means whereby I live.
What mercy can you render him, Antonio?
A halter gratis, nothing else, for God's sake.
If it please my lord the Duke and all the court, to quit the fine for one half of his goods I am content, so he will let me have the other half in use to render it upon his death unto the gentleman that lately stole his daughter. 2 things provided more, that for this favor he presently become a Christian. The other, that he do record a gift here in this court of all he dies possessed, unto his son Lorenzo and his daughter.
He shall do this, or else I do recant the pardon that I late pronounced here.
Art thou contented, Jew? What dost thou say? draw deed of gift.
I pray you, give me leave to part from hence. I'm not well. Send the deed after me, and I will sign it.
Get thee gone, but do it.
In christening shalt thou have 2 godfathers. Had I been judge, thou shouldst have had 10 more to bring thee to the gallows. Not the font.